Hello friends, hope all of you are doing well. I made a part 2 for my video which is on grammar rules which will help you ace your PT reading fill in the blanks. Now I'm going to tell you 10 more rules which will really help you in solving blanks with the help of grammar and mainly parts of speech. Parts of speech are the building blocks of any language. For example, nouns, verbs, adjectives, adverbs, pronouns, conjunctions, etc. Now, the first use is, or the first rule is, the correct use of phrasal verbs. For example, and also to understand the correct verb tense. For example, the context in the sentence will give you a hint which tense of the verb you should use. For example, I dash the book yesterday. Now let's say there are two options, read, read, and the second option is reading. Now, since it's about yesterday, it is in the past, right? So the correct answer will be I read, because if it's reading, then it has to be past continuous, like I was reading, correct? So, and because it's yesterday, right? So the correct answer will be read. So the verb tense, understanding it is very important. Rule number 2, use the correct form of the verb. The previous one example was for verb tense, and this example is for the correct use of the verb. For example, verbs can be in the base form or in the past form, the continuous form, or the past participle form. For example, I have dash my homework. Now let's say there are two options, do and done. So because of the word have, you have to use the past participle, which is done. You cannot say I have do the homework. The correct usage will be I have done the homework. Now coming to rule number 3, and that is understanding the correct article. For example, articles are words like a and the, which generally come before a noun or an adjective plus noun combination. So let's say there is a sentence, for example, I have dash job for you. So let's say there are two options, a job and job. So because the word job starts with a consonant sound J, the correct use will be I have a job for you. And if the word which is after the article starts with a vowel sound like A, E, I, O, U, then it will be and. So here it will be I have a job for you, like one job for you. Next is the correct use of the noun form, which is singular or plural. Singular means one, plural means multiple. For example, she bought dash of shoes. So let's say there are two options. She bought pair of shoes. She bought pairs of shoes. So obviously the correct answer will be pairs, P-A-I-R-S, because there is no a. If it is she bought a dash of shoes, then it will be a pair. But because there is no a, the correct answer will be pairs, the plural form. Now coming to rule number 5, and that is using the correct preposition. Prepositions are words which show a location or a direction or something in reference to time. For example, she is dash her office. Now let's say there are two options, at her office, on her office. So obviously she is at her office because that is pointing towards a location, right? It cannot be she is on. On means on top. So understanding the correct use of prepositions is very, very vital when you solve reading fill in the blanks. Coming to the next example or the next rule, and that is the correct use of adjectives. Adjectives, you can think of words which describe nouns, like qualifiers or descriptions or descriptors for nouns. For example, she bought a dash pair of shoes. So here, let's say there are two options, new pair, fresh pair. So here obviously because it is something to do with shoes, the better answer will be she bought a new pair of shoes rather than a fresh pair of shoes, right? You don't say a fresh pair of shoes. So you have to understand which noun form you will be using with the correct, which adjective form you will be using with the correct nouns, right? So that is very important. Coming to the next rule, and that is the use of modals. So modal verbs are words in English like must, will, would, could, should, can, might. Understanding the context will help you understand the modal. So let's say there is a sentence which goes like this in a passage. The teacher told the students that they dash the homework by tonight. Now let's say there are options like they dash submit their homework by tonight. So let's say there are options like must, can, could, would. it's more like a deadline, right? So the correct modal expression will be students must submit their homework by tonight. So it's very important to understand modal verbs. And the modal verb will always be followed by a verb in the first form, like must submit. It cannot be must submitted. It is always a verb in the base form. The next rule, which is rule number 8, is the using the correct phrasal verbs. For example, he dash smoking. Now let's say there are two options to choose from. He gave up smoking. He gave in smoking. So phrasal verbs are groups of words, two words generally, or it could also be more words, which are always used together. So the correct usage is he gave up smoking, means he left smoking for good, right? So using the correct phrasal verbs is very, very crucial in solving fill in the blanks correctly. Coming to rule number 9, and that is the correct use of conjunctions. Conjunctions are words like and, but. Such words are generally called conjunctions. They generally join sentences or phrases in a sentence. So let's say there is a sentence like, she likes to read books dash watch movies. Now let's say there are two options, and, but. So obviously, as per the context of the passage, it will be and, right? She likes to read books and watch movies. It cannot be but watch movies, because it will not make any sense. So you also have to understand the tone. Like, is it a continuation of the previous phrase, or it is something contradictory to it? Only then words like but will come. So understanding the correct use of conjunctions is very important. Coming to the last rule for this video, and that is the use of the correct possessive form. Possessive forms are generally used with pronouns like her, his, she. She is a first form. It is not a possessive pronoun, but words like his, her, they are, these are called possessive pronouns. For example, let's say there is a sentence which says, dash house is very big. So let's say there are two options, she house or her house. So obviously here you need a possessive pronoun. So it will be her house is very big, right? So guys, I hope you learned from this video 10 new rules of grammar which help in solving fill in the blanks for different tests like PT, IELTS, TOEFL, etc. If you like this video, make sure you follow it, and make sure you follow our channel and subscribe to us as well. Share and do comment if you want us to make other types of videos. My name is Malcolm and I'm your PT, IELTS and NAATI tutor from A1 Australia Education Group. Thanks for watching the video. Wishing you the best. Thank you.